How are you doing, guys and girls? Welcome back to another fun episode of Tom's Flair Bartending Tips. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can use Flair behind the bar. I'm here at Cinco Lounge in Portugal, and they've kindly lent me the bar so that I can show you a couple of tricks and go through these simple steps on how you can start using Flair behind the bar whilst making drinks. So as some of you probably know, that when you do start flairing in front of other people, it's very nerve-wracking. Your adrenaline pumps, you get very nervous, and you're kind of scared of what you need to do. Sometimes you forget all your moves, and it can be a complete disaster. So trying to follow these steps should hopefully help you be able to overcome those fears and start using Flair whilst making cocktails. Even when I'm flairing behind the bar in front of other people, I still get nervous to this day. So today I'm going to go through 6 simple steps so you can start using Flair behind the bar whilst you're making your cocktails, whilst you're making your drinks. And if you follow these steps one by one slowly, it's going to be much easier for you to get past those fears. So step 1, start small and start simple. Now what I mean by that is don't start throwing around bottles and tins and alcohol bottles and throwing alcohol over the place and trying to juggle things in front of your guests straight away, because it's just going to be a disaster. You want to start with the things like napkins and straws, jiggers and bar spoons, because especially napkins and straws, because if you drop them, they don't make any noise, they don't hurt anybody, and most of them are disposable anyway, even these biodegradable plastic straws. So if you start with those to begin with and then build up to the bigger moves as you go, it's going to be much easier for you to incorporate these moves into your cocktail making techniques. So for example, doing a napkin spin, if you master that one and then use that in front of your guests to begin with, and then you can start building on to doing a straw move, which can literally just be throwing it from one hand to the other. Each time you pick it up, you can throw it to the other hand and put it in the drink. And then as you get better, you can add a spin to it. And then you can take it to the next step where you can spin it around your finger and you develop the move from there. Then you can start moving on to some of the other items, such as your spoon. So you learn how to do a spoon spin around the thumb, or maybe a thumb roll with the jigger, or even just throwing a strainer into a shaker. You can even just do it directly in front of you like this, and then come in to strain your cocktails. If you start going too much too soon, you're only gonna scare yourself, and you won't be able to land the moves, and your guests are not going to be entertained by what you're doing. Plus, you'll probably make a mess, maybe make a mistake, and they won't come back to see you making a drink again. Okay, step 2 is practice. You must practice, and the best place for you to practice if you're using Flair behind your bar is behind your bar. Now, if I was here at Cinco Lounge, I would ask the owner if I could come in an hour or half an hour before shift and get used to flairing in my surroundings. So where do I need to stand? Where's my items going to be? How can I utilize the space around me to make it as safe and make it as easy for me to flair whilst I'm behind the bar making drinks? So with the setup, you would make sure that you knew exactly where the spoon was going to be, so each time you picked it up, you could do a move with it. You knew where the shakers were going to be kept, so that every time you picked them up, you could do a thumb roll, for example, and you'd get used to flairing in these surroundings. If you only flair in your practice room, and then you come behind the bar and realize you don't have as much space, you're just going to end up knocking into everything, making a mess, and probably breaking something, which you don't want to do. Okay, step 3. Now, this one is the most important when you start actually showing moves to other people. So your colleagues that you work with, or friends or family, you need to start showing your moves to them. So you need to start performing Flair in front of other people so that you can get used to doing Flair in front of other people. So instead of just doing a throw behind the head or an over the shoulder in your practice room by yourself, you could show it to one of your colleagues. See? Well impressed. So make sure you're flairing in front of other people, not your guests to begin with. Flair in front of friends, colleagues, show them your move, get them to watch you from the other side of the bar so that you get that pressure, that feeling of other people watching you flair behind the bar, so that when a guest comes up, you're starting to get used to people seeing you flair and watching you flair whilst making drinks. Okay, step number 4 is allocating moves to items or to cocktails. So for example, if you had vodka okay? And with this bottle, you could allocate 3 different moves. So for example, one move could be an up to a handstool. Another one could be a behind the head to a pour. And the last one could be a flick with the jigger to pour with the vodka. If you allocate these moves to one bottle, then each time you pick up that bottle, you rotate through those moves. And once you get used to performing those moves, you can then upgrade it. So instead of going to a handstool, you can then upgrade to an arm stool, and then to an elbow stool, to the reverse forearm stool. And again, with the other moves, so behind the head, instead of just behind the head, you could drop it behind your back and then come up to a pour. Or you could do it behind the head and then over to a pour as well. So you can develop those moves, and that means you'll then start having more moves with each bottle. And again, with each bottle or each item that you have behind your bar, you come up with a selection of moves. So with the spoon would be a spin around the thumb, a spin around the fingers. It could be a quick balance on the bar top, so then picking it up and then using it. And you allocate the moves and you rotate through those moves of each item so that you're practicing the same moves over and over. You're not just making up moves whilst you're making drinks. Okay, step number 5 is don't be afraid. The chances are that at some point you are going to drop it, you are going to make a mistake. The best way to get past that is acknowledge it, have a laugh about it, and move on. Okay, that's it. Forget about the mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. No one's perfect. Get over it and don't be afraid. Step number 6, and this is a simple one, is always do it with a smile on your face. Okay, this is most important. The flair is supposed to be a bonus to your bartending technique. It's not supposed to overtake your bartending and the cocktail making that you're doing. It's supposed to be a bonus so that when guests come to your bar, they're entertained and they can watch something fun happening whilst their drink is being made. So do it with a smile, don't look angry, and don't try and put the focus on how cool and awesome you think you look, because you probably don't look very awesome, especially if you're making a mistake. But always do it with a smile on your face. Have fun whilst you're doing it. Enjoy it. Try and get the guests involved as much as you can and enjoy it every single second. Bartending is supposed to be fun. Flair is supposed to be a fun aspect added to your bartending technique. So give it a shot. Let me know how you get on. And if you've got any questions, comments, or suggestions, whack it in the comments box below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. This is a slightly different video to what I normally do, as I've been requested by a lot of people on how they can start incorporating flair behind the bar. So I hope this has helped. I hope you can take something from this. And if you are still struggling, again, put it in the comments box below. Let me know how you're getting on. And until next time, I'll see you then. I'm going to do a bit of flair, if that's all right.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah?
They've not seen you, so...
No pressure.
Yeah, just do your tin and bottle routine from Roadhouse.
From Roadhouse last year, yeah.
Right,
No worries. Just
and try not to make any mistakes.
Can I put the music on and everything?
Yeah. I'll whack it up
when you're in front of your friends.
Yeah.
And people
Don't
you work
be
with,
scared,
it's
Tom. We're
okay
not
to make a
judging.
mistake.
I
Yeah.
feel you up now.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Not bad. Don't be scared, Tom. Don't be scared.
Okay, finally, step number 6. This is the simple one. Always switch your phone off when you're... No, I'm kidding.
When Tom Dyer's here. I apologise for that rudeness.
Okay.